Welcome everybody to our practice of Yin Yoga on the wall for hips and hamstrings. My name is Eleni and I'll be guiding you today. So what we need today is enough wall space, and then if you do have two blocks, you may want to grab them here, and we'll begin in our first posture, which is our caterpillar pose. So let's go ahead and make ourselves comfortable here. We want to scooch the seat up as close to the wall as possible. As we come down onto the back, we'll kind of gently glide the legs up the wall. So if you feel like your sitting bones are not touching, go ahead and scooch the body a little bit closer. So this first posture, we're just going to kind of get grounded and stabilized in our practice. So let the knees just gently bend, and then feel the length of the spine. So here we want to allow the body to arrive in our practice. So take that gentle body scan as we arrive. Starting at the crown of the head, all the way down to the shoulder blades, the spine, the hips, the knees, the ankles and toes. And if we notice any tension here, without judgment, just bring the awareness to this space. And as we work with our breath, feel free to use your breath as a tool to relax and release. So beginning to focus on our deep and full breaths, coming in through the nose, out through the nose or out through the mouth. We'll begin with our belly breaths here. So taking deep inhalations, filling up the base of the belly, feeling the belly expand out like a balloon. And then the exhale softens the belly, releases the breath. We'll inhale deeply, fill the base of the belly. And the exhale to soften. Inhale, breathing into the base of the belly. Bring the breath a little bit higher into the rib cage. And then all the way to the chest and collarbone, so it's a full torso breath. And then we exhale, the chest, the ribs, the belly relax. Good. So focusing on these belly breaths, or 3 parts breath. And letting the breath just gently bring our awareness into our practice today. If you have an intention you would like to work with, feel free to set an intention. So let's give a couple more breaths here. And we'll start to move into our butterfly pose. So here, let the feet come together and the knees wide. I do suggest hands here just for props. You don't have to push the legs, but just have them gently cradle the thigh here for supports. You can also use blocks in these postures to support the thigh. So here we're moving into our first hip opener. And paying attention to sensations that arise. And one of the benefits of doing a Yin Yoga practice on the wall is that we work with keeping the spine long the entire time, so the back is completely supported. And many people enjoy this style of practice because you get all the same benefits stretching on the wall as you would do seated, but it takes all of the gravitational pull out of the back. So with each posture, maybe we take a body scan and just become aware of the sensations that we feel in the moment and how we're arriving in each posture. And taking our time in each shape. So Yin is a beautiful practice, teaching us not to rush, nothing to get, nowhere to go, just to be here now with this body and this breath. Allowing 8 to 10 more breaths here, about another full minute. Let's gently release our butterfly, so you can guide the knees towards each other, slide the legs up the wall. We will give space for counter poses in this practice. They just look a little bit different than our normal seated practice. So you can take the feet, gently tick-tock right to left. You can also just gently squeeze, hug the knees into the chest, little baby rocks, or you can just slide the legs up, take some stillness, reflect and notice the rebound of the energy from that posture. Let's move into our half dragonfly. We'll slide our left leg out and bring our right foot in for butterfly. So we're half in, half out. Now this one is nice to use with a block to support the leg. If you want to bring it underneath the foot as well, you can do that. Just make it accessible for you. So check in with your frontal hip points. If you feel like your right hip is lifted, you may need to slide your left leg up just a little bit so you can stabilize the pelvis. And then here, once you find that space, our first edge, start to relax and notice the different sensations on either side. So we have that stretch through the left hamstring, inner thigh, back of thigh, and then we still have that gentle hip opener here on the right side. So once again, we're not pressing or pushing with the hands, but you can always just have them gently rest on the thighs for support. You can also rest the hands on the belly, and here you can really tune into breath if you're focusing on that connection. Palms resting on the rib cage or low belly. Another variation is to just let the arms rest beside you, palms facing up. So lots of options here. Now this may be one of those poses that you come a little bit deeper as we hold for longer. So if you feel like the left leg is gently and naturally coming closer to the floor, feel free to take that wider variation as it comes. But just know we're not pushing, and there is no complete award or achievement from getting into the most deep expression. We really just want to tune into what is the deepest expression that's appropriate for this time. And we take our time getting there. So we have our first edge. And then as we hold and we breathe, the body starts to relax. And then we can come a little bit deeper. One of my favorite parts of being a Yin Yoga practitioner is that it takes all of the doingness out of the practice. There's no pushing, there's no needing to accomplish or look a certain way. Everybody is going to have their own unique shape, and each side of the body is going to be expressed differently as well. So that's just being an asymmetrical being unique on either side of the body, and then for each of us to have our own unique shapes. It's really a beautiful concept. Wonderful. We're going to give 8 to 10 breaths here. All right, wonderful everybody. So let's gently come out. We're going to slide this right leg up, and you can use your palm here, gently glide your left leg in. So different sensations on either side. Take those little baby movements right to left with the feet and the knees if that feels good for the hips. You can also just rest here in caterpillar or hug knees to chest. Give yourself a rock right to left. Let's slide the legs up and just take a moment to reflect. So notice the length through the left inner thigh, left back of thigh. And then how the left side may feel a little bit different than the right. And now we'll switch. So right leg comes out, half dragonfly. Grab that prop if you want to. And if you don't have a yoga block, use a couch pillow or a rolled up blanket, something that can kind of slide under there to support you. Left foot comes to that half butterfly here. And here we are. So I'm already noticing a difference in this right hamstring. A little bit tighter, not maybe as flexible as the left side. So just observe where you land here. How does the right side compare to the left? Where do the hands land comfortably? Do we need some extra support on the right or the left side? Check in with those frontal hip points. If you feel like your hip bone is lifting, try to stabilize the pelvis. If it is unstable, walk your right foot up a little bit and then use a prop under there for support. So try to soften where we can. Once again, take that mental journey, that body scan, crown of head, all the way down to the tip of the toes. Each posture is its own unique and beautiful journey. So if you feel like you are naturally coming a little deeper on that right side, feels organic to you, you can let that happen. One cue that we may have gone too far is if you feel like your right leg is shaking, and that will give us a cue to kind of bring that right leg up a little bit. How is breath here? Wonderful. Let's give another minute. All right, slowly we release. So glide the left leg up. Gently use your hand. Right leg meets the left, caterpillar. Again, take stillness or take little tick-tock movements here, right to left. If it feels good, little squeeze, little hug, little rock. Okay, we're going to make our way into our squats pose. So this one, bring the feet a little bit wider, and you're going to let the toes point out at an angle. Now, if this is really uncomfortable, you might have to scooch back. So you would come onto your side and kind of rock back a little bit, and then, yeah, make your way. So that actually does feel a little bit better. So if we all want to kind of scoot back a couple of inches from the wall, this pose will feel more manageable. We don't want to put too much pressure on the low back. So we're in a low squat. Some people might call this frog pose. So you want your toes pointing out. So catty corner to the angles of the wall. And then we're actually focusing on inner groin here. So it's not too much pressure on the wall, but if you need some more stabilization, just gently press your feet into the wall. Again, we're not looking for too much muscular tension, but if you need stabilization. All right. Now, make sure the spine and the low back is comfortable. And then again, find that place for your hands. Rib cage beside the body. So I always encourage people to adjust, take the shape that works for you. If you need to shift or make space for a little bit of a different variation, please do so, because your body is your best teacher, and your body will always cue you when something is right for you, or if we need to modify or change. So as a yoga teacher, I'm just the guide and the facilitator. All right. This may be a little more intense. Notice where we're feeling that tightness or tension here, inner groin, inner thigh. Let's work with our breath here. Breathe deeply into those spaces. And with each exhale, we release and relax. Breathing in deep and full breaths. And slow exhales. Wonderful. Some people float the arms overhead in these postures. We don't want to put too much pressure on the neck here, but if it's comfortable for your shoulders, feel free to invite that nice open chest. All right. We're doing wonderful. Let's give 8 to 10 breaths here. All right, let's take it slow. Use the hands, guide the legs in, nice and gentle. Slide the legs up. Rest here, or little baby tick-tocks right to left. Okay, I know we scooched away from the wall for that last posture. We're going to need to come a little bit closer to take our next shape. So just kind of glide the hips towards the wall and swing the legs up gently. Shoelace pose. This is a favorite for some of my patrons in my yoga classes. So let's go ahead and take that right leg, bend it, and you're going to take your left leg and cross it. All right. This may be way too intense, and if that's the case, uncross, right leg stays high, you cross the left over, okay? Option A. If you want to take heel to hip, option B. Okay, relax here, and we're going to really notice that outer left hip. And so if you are working on this pose from a seated posture, this may actually help you gain accessibility to this variation. So notice where the hands land. If you want to bring arms up and overhead and that feels good. This pose may feel a little more accessible because we've already done just a little bit of hip opening. So just see what arises. Beautiful, everybody. Last couple breaths. let's slowly release. So, uncross that left leg. Send the right leg high if the knee is bent. Good. Little tick-tock here. If you want to, you can come back to butterfly if that brings some release and relief through the hips. And then we'll go ahead and switch it out. All right. So this one, if you want to keep your left leg extended, keep it up the wall, and you can take half shoelace. Otherwise, left heel comes to the outer right hip. So knees are going to intentionally be stacked here, and then relax the arms. Okay? Notice here if this side feels different. Again, because I'm right dominant, this side is a little bit tighter. So nice, deep and full breaths into that outer right hip. Beautiful. 8 to 10 breaths. We got this. All right. Let's release right leg first. Take it slow, glide it up the wall. Take time here. We don't rush. Left leg extends up if it's not so already. Again, little windshield wipers here. You can take a butterfly posture. You can hug knees to chest or just simply rest in your legs up the wall. Couple breaths. All right, we're going to take a full straddle now. So this is where I do recommend either having props or a pillow. Some people may not need it, but some of us do. Okay, so let's go ahead and take both legs out as wide, not as wide as possible, but wide. So again, incrementally coming into this posture. You can start here at the highest level if that feels good. And then as you hold, you might come a little deeper. So I am a huge proponent of props and blocks and straps and blankets and all the comfy things that we can add to our practice, because it makes postures and yoga accessible. And just because you use props, it doesn't mean anything less or anything more. It just means that you are making sure that your body is set up for success. All right, so try to relax. Notice here that inner thigh stretch. If you feel that gentle opening here, or you're organically coming a little bit deeper, you can release the props if you're using them, or take a different level here. So once again, that cue is that if the feet or the legs start to shake, our body is asking us to relax and back off a little bit. Beautiful, everybody. Notice where the breath lands. Let's find that 8 to 10 breaths. Slowly, let's begin to release. You can use your hands. Gently glide the legs back up, nice and slowly. Wonderful. I just love that posture. All right, hug the knees in if that feels good. Take little baby rocks here, right to left. Excellent. We're going to come onto one side and just gently walk our body a little bit further away from the mat. So rocking onto right or left, scooch back about 3 to 12 inches. And then let's come back onto our back. And we're going to take a twisting sequence here. So here we want our right foot pressing into the wall. And we'll take our left ankle and cross it. Okay, so we want right knee 90 degrees. And again, you can have your left hand just gently resting on left thigh if that feels good. So figure 4. Okay, we're going to take the second part of this posture. So let's release here, right foot to earth, and we'll take this left foot and bring it over to the right side. So ideally, your left knee is going to be pressing up and you're in a twist. Left arm can come out here, palm will face up. You can also take a cactus arm if that feels good, and then relax the back of the head, maybe gaze to your left. So for those of you who like to take bind, you're welcome to take that right hand to the right ankle and kind of support that hip opener here. Beautiful. 8 to 10 breaths. All right, slowly release. So release any bind if you have it. Bring the knees through center, uncross. So since we have some space here away from the wall, if you want to take big windshield wipers, that might feel nice. Rock the knees right to left. And we'll switch. Left foot connects to the wall here, 90 degrees with the left knee. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. All right, settle in here, observe right side. Wonderful. Let's prepare for our twist. We're going to ground the left foot. Deep breath in. The exhale grounds the right over to the left. You're going to reach out with that right arm or cactus the elbow as you did on the other side. If you want to take a bind, left hand to that right ankle. Back of head is soft or gaze is over to the right side. So just notice what feels good for the neck. All right, last few breaths. Releasing any bind if you have it. So gently bring the legs back through center, uncross that right leg. Tick-tock the knees if that feels good, or just find some relaxation here. You can hug knees or just relax and find stillness. Beautiful. Our last posture we're going to do before we take our final legs up the wall is our half happy baby. Okay, so we're going to start with our left foot rooted on the earth. Right foot, we can take outer edge. You can also come here and take the shin. Okay, so you want to bend the knee and flex the foot. We don't want to round through the upper back or shoulders, so make sure the shoulder blades are rooted. Good. So you can keep your foot rooted here on the earth. You can also bring it to the wall if that feels better. You can just kind of play with what shape feels best for you, that feels supported for your pelvis and low back. And we're just going to hang out here for about a minute just to kind of close the practice. All right, 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Let's release. Okay, release the feet, tick-tock right to left, and then we'll prepare for other side. Okay, let's start with the right foot on the earth. We'll take that left outer edge of the foot or the shin, whatever is accessible. Notice here, if you feel good, you keep that right foot on the earth, or you can play with coming into that frog pose variation, walking the foot up the wall. Wonderful. Just a couple breaths here as we wind down. Wonderful. Release. Last windshield wiper here, right to left. All right, couple options here for our master pose. You can come back to legs up the wall, take final rest, or you can find a traditional Shavasana where you just extend the legs long, walk the body away from the wall. So here I'm just going to shimmy back up to the wall. Find that very relaxed posture with the knees just gently bent. We take final rest. Allow the body to receive our practice. the awareness to return to the physical body. Perhaps inviting little movements, wiggling the toes and the fingers, rolling the wrist. Maybe reaching the arms up and overhead, pointing the toes. Take a good morning stretch here. And then let's rock onto one side, bend the knees, and gently press up through seated as we conclude our class. So thank you all so very much for joining me today, and I wish you peace, love, and light. Namaste. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm open for requests. If you have any practices that you'd like to do, let me know in the comments below. And thank you guys so much.